How am I getting paid? How am I getting paid, Willie? I'm working with these buyers. How am I going to get paid now moving into the future? How do I set myself apart from all the other agents that are out there? And this is the type of questions that I'm receiving from a lot of buyer agents and a lot of agents, not only in my own company, but also at different brokerages as well. Hey everyone, Willie Miranda with the Ultimate Real Estate Success Blueprint down here in not sunny Florida right now. It's actually Tropical Storm Debbie passing through, and all day long it's been raining, so I figured I'd come out and shoot you guys a quick video. But that's what I've been hearing over the last week. Been down here in Florida for about a week now, doing a lot of one-on-ones with agents, with all the changes that are coming down. And just some of the different things that we're talking about with our agents is to make sure that we're sitting down and we're being the professionals that we should be, right? Like getting out there, sitting down, doing fact finders with our buyers, having a true buyer consultation. And I gotta admit, you know, over the last, if I think about even the last 8 or 10 years, it's been so easy for buyer agents to just be lazy about it, right? Not have to do a presentation, just go out there and show houses. You know, there's some type of offer of compensation, right? So you don't even talk commission. You don't even talk about buyer agency agreements. You don't even talk about buyer presentations. And it's just been too easy over the last number of years. So now that we're moving more into a pros market, a more professional agent market, you have to be ready. So what do you have to do to be ready? Well, you have to have good listing skills. You got to have great fact finder consultations where you're sitting down and going over all the different things that need to be done in the whole process of buying a home. Having that great buyer presentation that you have, talking about all the value that you bring to the table, what you're going to do for them, what you're, you know, just walking them through the whole timeline of what it takes to buy a home, from, you know, searching, qualifying, inspections, you name it, like walking them right through. Like, that's a question you need to ask yourself today. Do you have a really serious buyer presentation and information that you can give to educate the buyer in today's market? And if you don't, you're going to be left behind, right? And that's going to be the difference between a pros market that we're in versus an amateur, in an amateur market. And these are the agents that are going to get hurt, the ones that don't have a buyer presentation, the ones that don't have a process, and the ones that are just going to whine and complain that they're not getting paid what they're worth, or not getting paid what they used to get paid, because they just don't have the skills. They don't have the scripts and dialogues. They don't have the process down. They don't have the presentation down. And these are the things that we're going to have to really look at. So we're going to be talking more about this on our Wednesday mastermind classes. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to send this video out to you, is because we're going to be going over a lot of the buyer presentation. We're going to be going over a lot about the different scripts and dialogues that you need to use. How do you show value? How do you get them to assign to a buyer agreement? You know, should you be using a non-exclusive contract, an exclusive contract, one-time showings, cancellation guarantees, all of those different things. So if you're not signed up for our Wednesday classes, our Blueprint Masterclass that we have every other Wednesday, sign up for it. Just go to blueprintclassroom.com, and I'll put the link below. blueprintclassroom.com. It's free. It's from 1 to 2 o'clock. It's 1 hour. And you have to invest the time. You have to invest the time to build your skills, to build your presentations, because this is a change and you have to embrace the change. And we're going to be talking about that too. Actually, Brian and I, my brother, were talking about and actually putting together an actual workshop that we're going to be doing. It's going to be sometime in October in the Capital District. We're going to be doing an Embrace the Change workshop, where we're actually going to go through and not only talk about all the different things you have to do to win a buyer, to convert that buyer over to a buyer client, but also from a lender perspective, having a lender come in and talk about what's happening in the lending world, having an attorney come in, talk about all these contracts and all these different changes and what our rights are and what the buyer's rights are and seller's rights are. And it's going to take a little bit of time, you know, over the next 6 to 8 weeks. I really do believe that it's going to take a little time for us to adjust, and you're going to see a lot of different variations of things come out. Right now we're going into the, you know, buyer agency, seller agency 1.0, but you're going to see 2.0 come out, 3.0, and I would say probably by the end of the year probably be up to about a 10.0. Different versions are going to be coming out and changes. So be prepared to that. You know, jump on webinars, make sure you go into your trainings, company trainings that you may have, and make sure you guys embrace it, because the changes here, we're already seeing it down here in Florida. I talked to a lot of agents on here. They're more of a transactional type state, so it's a little bit different here, but they already know the importance of it. And the one thing I wanted to mention too is that here in Florida, Texas, Arizona, California, usually those states are the first ones to change in their marketplaces, and then usually New York follows thereafter. But what we're seeing here in Florida, just like in those other states, starting to see a lot more inventory come on. Here in Florida, I think we're up 60% from where we were this time last year. And you're starting to see homes sitting on the market 120 days, 150 days. I just saw a $150,000 price reduction yesterday. These reductions are coming down because it's necessary, because the market is changing. And what you're seeing is a lot of incentives from these sellers. And what they're doing is they're putting out great incentives. I mean, great seller concessions, which again can be used towards buyer commissions. They're giving bonuses out to buyer agents and buyers. They're providing, first paying HOAs for the first year. All these different things that didn't exist here even just 6 months ago didn't exist. And I'm starting to see that in the Capital District, where we're starting to see a lot more inventory come on. You're starting to see days on market increase a little bit. So you're already seeing the trend start where more inventory is coming onto the market. So that's just a huge advantage for all of us. And again, if you're in the deep sellers market, which we have been, sellers don't really, need to do too much, right? They don't have to pay, a buyer commission, right? They could just say, hey, I'm going to list my house. And if a buyer, wants to buy the home, then they have to pay their own fee. Well, that's going to change when you have 15 homes in your community, like this one does here right now, for sale, and you need to stand out amongst the rest. Sellers will definitely step up and start paying those fees, start paying bonuses, and really, again, you want to make sure that you're letting them know that in order for them to stand out, they need to cooperate. They need to be out there, and they need to put some incentives out there for buyers to buy their home. And if they're not willing to pay a commission, or if they're not willing to, give some type of a credit back, then they're at a huge competitive disadvantage amongst their competition, which are the other listings that are for sale. So we're starting to see a lot of that, and we're going to start seeing more and more of that in the Capital District. So again, wanted to give you guys information. Again, it's blueprintclassroom.com. Make sure you check it out, and we'll be sharing, like I said, a lot of the things that we use. Also, like I said, the presentations and scripts, dialogues, all the different things, because at the end of the day, we want, I know I do anyway, on the seller side, if I'm representing a listing and I'm representing a seller, I want a really good, competent buyer agent on the other side handling the buyer. I don't want a buyer coming to the table that is unrepresented, who is, unsure of what they're doing. Maybe they bought a house 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and they think they know what's going on. But at the end of the day, when inspections come and there's issues that's going down, I want a really good, competent buyer agent on the other side. And I want my sellers to know we want that as well, because I don't want a buyer who represents himself, who gets nervous, kills a deal, doesn't know what's going on, walks away from a deal, and it's because they didn't have the experience and they didn't have the representation that they needed on their side. So again, we'll talk more about that as time goes on. But that's it. I'm going to try to get back to my house here before the rain kicks up again. I'm supposed to get some pretty good storms tonight into tomorrow, and then Monday I catch a flight, hopefully, and it's not delayed, and I'll be back in the Capital District. So look out for blueprintclassroom.com. Sign up. Also look out for, and I'll send emails out to this list as well on some of the dates that we'll have some of the different training in the Capital District. I think we're going to do one somewhere in the Albany area, probably a G-Car, and then we'll probably do another one up in Saratoga somewhere for a lot of the northern agents and also the Saratoga agents as well. So, all right, so if you liked what you heard on here, scroll down below, leave a comment. Let's go get them this week.